Greetings, this is John Doe with a look at how to do your CRM budget. There are 4 essential steps in preparing your budget. 1, the overview or reviewing of last year's budget. 2, making the changes. 3, sharing your budget. And 4, submitting the budget for approval. Again, step 1 is the overview and review process. You need to log into Salesforce. And that can be done directly by logging in at Salesforce or via the email that Rhonda sent you with the budget invitation. In this email, some useful information like the 4 steps I referred to just a moment ago, as well as other pieces. Please read it, and then at the bottom, you have the opportunity to go to the budget. By clicking that, it's going to take you right to your Salesforce login. Type in your password. Click Login. Once logged in, it should take you directly to your budget. And you're going to see the overview that you can use to review your numbers from the previous year. If at any point during this budget process you need help, you can click the link here on the left or at the top of any page where it says Help for this page. During the budget review process, I want to point out that these are your 2010 numbers. A nice little pie chart, the numbers that you had from the previous year, your salary cap, your total salary. You can look at how the salary cap is calculated. You can see your approval status, etc. So give that a look over. And once you've looked that over, you're ready to move on to step 2, making changes to your budget. This is done by clicking the Edit My Budget button at the top. Once you've done that, you're ready to start making changes to your budget. I have a new supervisor. Tim Lockey is no longer my boss, so I'm going to change my supervisor from Tim Lockey to my new supervisor, Jane Doe. I click the search button. It'll come up with any matches. There she is. By default, your budget start date and end date covers the whole year of 2011. I am a full-time staff member. I've moved from Alaska to California, and I live in the San Francisco area. We've also had a child this year. And the most important thing is make sure you click the Save Changes button. By clicking Save Changes, it'll update the salary cap calculator. Once the save is completed, you'll notice all the changes have taken place here. You'll also notice as you scroll down the page that you'll have a salary cap that's been calculated for you here. As I continue to make changes to my budget, I want to point out that last year's numbers are already entered in here for my base salary as well as my ministry expenses. So if last year's numbers were fine, your job is very simple. You could simply hit Save Changes and Submit. However, I'm now living in San Francisco, and $1,600 a month is pretty tight for a family to live in San Francisco. I'm going to up that number to $2,000. Still a pretty unrealistic number for San Francisco, but for the purposes of my demonstration, that's fine. If, rather than guessing what your base salary should be, you'd like a little bit of help calculating that, you can click this link here that says Go to Personal Expense Worksheet. Personal Expense Worksheet is just that, a worksheet that helps you figure out what you need for your basic salary. It calculates everything from savings to housing to gas, etc. Again, this is optional. Now, you'll notice nothing's changed here until I click the Save Changes button. So I recommend clicking this often. Now, if I come down here, you'll see my base salary is $2,000. Confirmed right here. I'm well below the salary cap. My ministry expenses last year, I'll go through and make sure I've got a number entered for each one of these. And frankly, last year, my numbers were just fine. However, I'm going to go to language school in preparation to move to Caracas. So I am going to go ahead and add some money in here for language school. Again, clicking Save Changes. Better to click it too often than not often enough. And you'll notice my language school is now in there. My total ministry expenses equal $835. None of these numbers have changed for me, so I'm going to continue down. I've enrolled, and you have to click enroll or cancel enrollment or change enrollment for each of these. Your retirement funds. Health insurance, no change for me, but if you do want to make a change, you can start an enrollment. Note that it will not calculate those numbers right away. You have to actually be enrolled, and your budget will be changed once the enrollment is complete. It automatically calculates your Social Security, workers' comp, and liability. So you have total benefits of fees, your pre-assessment total, then your assessment. In total to be raised $4,149. Save changes. I've now completed step number 2, making changes. I can click done. Okay, I'm on to step 3, sharing your budget. This is a vital step, and it's an easy one to miss, so make sure you don't. Click sharing at the top left here. I'm back on the budget front page. And from the budget front page, I'm going to see who my budget is shared with. And then you'll notice that my supervisor, Jane Doe, my wife, pretty good setup having your wife as your supervisor, is not on this list. For her to approve the budget, she has to be on this list. So this is a vital step. So you can add a spouse, a fellow team member, but of vital importance is making sure that your supervisor is on this list. So I'm going to change what I'm searching to users, and I'm going to put in a name here, Jane Doe, ask it to find it. It found the user Jane Doe. I click on it, and I tell it to add. And you can leave this at read or read write. Change it to read and write. Click save. And you'll notice now Jane Doe is now allowed access to the budget. Now to return back to my budget, the simplest way is to click the link right up here, right below the title, John Doe's 2011 Staff Budget. Click that. I'm back to the budget front page. I can review my numbers here. Nice little pie chart to see how everything looks. I have not submitted the budget yet. My salary cap is not exceeded. Vital to make sure you don't exceed that salary cap or you'll get an error message. I can review all these numbers before I click submit. It's a good idea to check it out. If there is a mistake, whoops, I forgot. We adopted a 15-year-old. You can go simply back, edit my budget. Add that 15-year-old. Save changes. Click done. Again, review. Once I'm convinced it's all set and ready to go, I need to do the last step. The fourth and final step is to submit the budget for approval. Once you submit this record for approval, you might not be able to make changes, so please make sure you've got it finalized, then click OK. That's it. Your budget's ready to roll, and it's been sent on to your supervisor for approval. From there, it'll go to the other central support team members who need to walk through it and make sure everything's correct. If you want to check the status of your budget anytime, you can return to your budgets by clicking on Staff Budgets in Salesforce, looking up your current 2011 staff budget. From the front page of the budget, scroll down, and you can look here for fund approval status. And you can see that we're waiting for approval, currently waiting on Jane Doe. So you can check out the approval status. If you scroll down a little bit further, you also see the complete approval history, what's pending, what's been recalled, what's been rejected, etc. I hope the screencast has been helpful, and happy budgeting.